Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we are back and we got some news to talk about because, once again, Democrats are being Democrats. Of course, in order to be a Democrat, you have to be very complacent. You got to be very egotistical, and you got to think that you are on the moral high grounds. So obviously, Democrats are desperate, and they have good reason to be. They are the opposition party, and they're doing horrible at being one. They think being the opposition party is being just blatantly opposed to Donald Trump on basically anything that he does, even when it comes to making the country generally successful economically, militarily. They just have to be against him. Donald Trump trying to rightfully deport mass terrorists. And what do Democrats do? They're trying to bust these terrorists out of jail and bring them back into the country. They're that Trump deranged. So, and Democrats, despite this being cognitively disillusioned, they continue to double down, and now they're spending, and I would say wasting, $20 million to win over young male voters. And Democrats are being epically roasted for this because there is a big reason why male voters in general have been moving away from Democrats. I mean, let's be honest. Male voters have been trending away since Hillary Clinton. You could arguably say that Hillary Clinton has, of course, started the trend. Because if you actually look at demographics, you will see the Democratic Party by county, it's very diverse. I mean, I wouldn't say that, diverse when it comes to ideology. You have center right, center left, etc., etc., etc. Like, I'm talking about the Democratic Party of the 90s. You had the Bob Casey Sr. Democrats. That average conservative, Catholic, anti-abortion Democrat. You don't see those anymore in the Democratic Party. You have the Baptist Democrats from Alabama. They are relatively democratic, mainly because they believe they were born Democrats. Okay, they were born Democrats, and they believed ultimately their parents were Democrats, their ancestors were Democrats. Maybe they disagree with the platform; they're more center right, but ultimately they believe, hey, look, I'm a Democrat. And they believe, being a proud Southerner, they believe the Democratic Party is a party of the South. Taking a look at Alabama right now today, it's not that so. It's not that. And my mouse is currently dying, so I'm having a hard time struggling to actually pick up some election results right now. But we're actually going to go ahead and get started when it comes to bringing up like some county results. And kind of comparing the results today, or actually, how about this? Let's go to Jackson Jude and actually look at some results firsthand. We can actually pull up the trends. I could actually try my best, but like I said, why I'm doing this, we're talking about male voters today. And why male voters are going away from the Democratic Party. Why are they going away from the Democrats? Well, in case Democrats, you're so dumb and stupid, you haven't even seen the trend. Democrats have been losing voters. First, they lost the evangelical Christians. Now they're losing the rural communities. Now they're losing men. What else are going to lose? They're losing Hispanics, and then they're going to lose African Americans. They're losing because they're becoming an insanely stupid party. And here, Democrats, they go around and they're saying that MAGA is the party of extremism. And that's not necessarily true. So ultimately, I just want to go ahead and really pull up like the different trends. I would say comparing past versus past elections, you'll see this is 2024, this is 2020. You'll see when it comes to the only district was Nebraska 1. It went shift to Harris. But we've seen that to relatively more rural areas or Trumpian areas or Republican areas tend to shift more to Democrats. But I'm talking about 1990s. And you'll see 1992. Okay. So yeah, this isn't good. You have areas. This is supposed to be like, yeah, you have Minnesota trending right. So we're talking about the map of 1992. Okay, now we know what the map of 1992 looks like, I'm sure, but this is the trend. Obviously, Democrats gained more in Virginia. Let's see. Yeah, you see, they used to be dark red, right? Dark red. Those rural areas that massively went to the right. You'll see even Washington County, 1.9% to the right. You got Carver County going to the left now. It used to be more liberal, but you'll see even New York for sure. Yes, 3.3% to the right compared to 1992. You'll see clearly Democrats are overwhelmingly losing these important areas because it used to be very favorable now for them, but relatively, like we talk about 1992 and comparing it to 1994 to 2024, you're seeing the dark red states. Those are states that Democrats did very well. These are likely Clinton strongholds that went to double digits to the right. That includes, obviously, Iowa, Missouri, Arkansas. I'm sure we look at Arkansas and it's all red. I mean, like, seriously, even the Black Belt. What about Missouri? I mean, Mississippi. Even parts of the Black Belt are Republican. But you get why I'm showing this, because relatively, let's see if we can flip it around, what it looks like other way around. Yeah, you'll see other way around. All these are countryside, right? But I'm getting distracted. This is relatively what the map looks like. So you're seeing that obviously Democrats are losing ground. The solid areas in red, and generally we know how much Democrats did in 1992. They won a lot of rural areas. Yeah, blue states like Iowa is trending solid to the right. West Virginia, solid right. You have New York right to the right. Rhode Island is going Republican, 4.2% compared to 1992. This isn't good, okay? And now you have the Met. And taking a look and actually comparing this to like 2016 now. There you go. So, yeah, this is 2024. And how it's looking like in 20. Yeah, you see California is 10 points to the right. You'll see it. We're moving massively to the right here. Yes, you see more rural areas. Understandably, Republican areas, they'll go, the Democrat will go, hey, what are you talking about? Evangelical voters are going to the right. Well, I wouldn't say it's evangelical voters. I'm just going to go ahead and say that it's mainly the areas, because they're getting more populated. Comparing to 2016, these more suburban Republican areas, which kind of like these rural college cities, had a lot of Republicans. Now, these college cities are getting more populated with leftists. People are going to college now. We got more liberals, more students coming in. It's starting to get more liberal. But the most important thing is populated states like New York, 10 points to the right. Florida. Yep, 10 points to the right. I want to fix the margins, because actually I do believe that'll help us. So I generally think likely is plus 10. No. Great. Darn it. We need to compare past elections. There we go. Safe. 10, and lean is going to be 5. There we go. So this is what it's looking like, right, when it comes to margins. Yeah, New York, 10.1% to the right, 11.9%. So you have New York dramatically going to the right. New York City, solid Republican. You have California, solidly Republican. Los Angeles County, solid. Imperial County, solid. Forget about, the rural areas, like, look at that. It's barely going Democrat. That's just the thing. They want to go and tout that argument. I'm like, I don't think it's going to work that much. But you get what I'm saying here. You'll see, comparing from 2016 to 2024, how much people in these counties, the redder counties, tend to be from liberal areas because they're living under the tyrannical Democratic government. And you'll be asking, why does this compare to male voters? Well, we already established, and this was just a very long and kind of divot example of how much people are leaving the Democratic Party and the reasons why people are leaving the Democratic Party. Part of the reason comes to men, and I don't know why we have a group of these feminine men up here, but the reason when it comes to men, and we're talking about the state of the Democratic Party, it is too feminine. In fact, Democrats continue to hurt themselves because they continue to declare war on masculinity. Democrats continue to declare war on masculine leadership. And this is all part of the woke virtue signaling and about the strong woman. It's becoming a party for women, and that's what a lot of voters generally think of it as. The Democrats are the women. The Democrats are the party of women. The Republicans are basically the party for anyone. That's what it's become like, and you probably don't want that. Okay, you probably do not want that because what happens? Men. They'll start because men is already hard for men to do feminine stuff. Like men get teased for doing feminine stuff. Like even the way they act, they get teased. Okay, the way they talk, they get teased. You don't want to be that man, and obviously you get badly bullied. I don't condone that behavior, of course, but obviously, in order to feel good about yourself and to fit in, it's important for you not to kind of affiliate with other, like the female sort of deal. We know how the society is. In order to be a strong man, you kind of have to fit in with the norms of a male, kind of have to, like, for instance, kind of have to go to the gym, you go like the truck. That's why Tim Walz and doing his super cheap video about him trying to fix a truck. He's trying to get the men. He's trying to relate to men, get men involved. But to be honest, Tim Walz was just as feminine as Kamala Harris, in my opinion. There's nothing masculine about this guy. He is as emotional as a baby. You see this guy and how he behaves when, obviously, after the 2024 election, he went boohoo, whine, and cried and called half of his own state Nazis and fascists. That sounds like baby behavior to me. And when Democrats go around and they do this type of advertisement, like this is going to get men involved, guys, I mean, Democrats, they're trying to get actors. They're trying to get these famous idols involved. But there's a thing called getting too much, where you get the feminizer movement. And I can only cringe so much with this video. And in case you're wondering, this is real. This is a political campaign song launched by actor Lisa Colon-Zayas, who endorsed Kamala Harris and sung the song at a Kamala Harris rally in Pennsylvania. And obviously, this really did bring lots of men. This is going to bring hundreds of men to the party. And I'm being sarcastic, but this only just set the tone for her campaign. But let's check it out.
She was working at the White House with a cool VP, and then Biden stopped his campaign saying, no, not me. What are we to do? Where are we to go? We were out on our fanny. Then suddenly Joseph Kamala's the one to run. She raised millions and endorsements came from everyone. She's got brains, she's got balls, and she wants to be President Harris. Ooh, you stop and roll to the block. Find a way to bring the hope and joy back. Now the campaign's really bitching. Watch out, DT. What can say they're switching? Come stay. A lady who laughs is now the one to save democracy. That girl who just fell out of a coconut tree.
Okay, so you get this is what they got. And you know what I got from this little jingle? Cringe. This is exactly cringe. First of all, number one, this is feminine. Seems pretty feminine. You have a female actor who is known for intriguing the feminine crowd, and you expect this female actor to bring in male support. That doesn't work. Period. It does not work. And obviously, when it comes to the lyrics, it's just cringe. Like, obviously, do you think men are going to be like, oh, this is so cool? No. Kamala Harris ran an over-feminized campaign, period. So feminized that even most women couldn't even back it. So, Democrats, what are they learned from this? They're doubling down on this. Now it looks like my computer's freezing. They're doubling down on this by doing the exact same thing. And they go and they'll go and they say, we got a male leader, David Hogg. I'm sorry, David Hogg is as emotional as a woman can get. And this isn't an indictment against women, but you need strong male masculine leadership. But Democrats have declared war on masculinity. They can't stand it. They call it toxic masculinity. But without toxic masculinity, you don't get leadership. There are some values that men and women are given. There are some gifts and some virtues that men and women, it just comes handingly to them. For women, it's empathy. Okay? Women have more, they're obvious, they are known to be more nurturing because obviously they're meant to be mothers. They're born to be more empathetic. They're to be a nurturer, emotional, take care of the babies and the kids. That's their gifts. That's what God gave them the gift for, because they were born and bred to be nurturers and mothers. While men are generally the head of the family, they take on the traits of more of leadership. They're generally built stronger to take on hard challenges for the family, to work, to construct, and obviously to teach the kids to help out around the house, and also discipline. So that's how it works. Democrats want to switch the virtues around. Women taking on strong leadership roles, and I'm not opposed to that. But there's some leadership roles that some women just can't take, just like there are some nurturing roles and some roles that men don't have that women have. Like the nurturing. Like, for me, I find it very hard when my dog, like, I'm sure, like, I'm not a nurturer. This is the very male part of me. Like, if my dog gets, like, I give my dog so many warnings, and my dog misbehaves, he will get reprimanded. He will be upset. He will run away. And I just don't nurture him. But my siblings, well, otherwise my sisters, they will often go and nurture the dog. Okay, that's and they feel the urge to do that because they're more emotionally connected. Okay, they see a situation, and you're emotionally driven to the situation to go and solve it, to nurture it, to tender it. That's more of the woman role. But for me, I don't feel the need to do that. I discipline the dog. And if the dog's sulking and he's mad, let the dog sulk and be mad about it. Honestly, it's a dog, it's an animal. I don't feel the urge to go and say, oh, it's okay, come here. It's been like 30 minutes, an hour, I forgive you. No, the dog will get over it. That's kind of what males generally feel. So and I've kind of struggled with that, with nurturing. And the empathy, to be honest with you, I'll be honest with you, it's hard to be empathetic. Because then you'll be like, okay, why can't you just do this, and this? This is just generally a weakness and a struggle that men generally have. So it's not just against women, it's also against men too. So, in Democrats just throwing out male leadership, you need both female and male leaders in the Democratic Party. And that they'll go ahead and they'll say, oh, we got male leaders like Ken Martin, Tim Walz. No, they are, of course, their heartstrings have been stretched into oblivion. When you have Tim Walz crying at the concession speech of Kamala Harris, that's not very masculine. First off, being a leader of a party, men, if you're a leader of a certain group as a male, don't cry. Men don't cry, for instance. That's not a good look for a leader. That's not a good look for a leader. Now, depending on it, certain, like, let's just say, PTSD or something like that, you witnessed a tragedy and something horrific or something like that, then that's more understandable. But how many times have Democrats cried? Okay? We have AOC crying at the border. We have idiots at MSNBC crying when Kamala Harris delivered her speech. Nancy Pelosi crying after the Democrats lost. Look at all these Democrats. We had Barack Obama crying. And I don't want to make light of it. He was upset about a shooting, and that's honestly very understanding. But if he really cared, then he would address the mental health crisis and not blame it on an object, a gun. Come on. To me, I can't take this guy very seriously. Notice everyone crying here, they're Democrats. This is leadership. This is your leadership. This guy right here, weak leader. Yeah, weak. There's Obama once again crying. It's not a good look to be a leader of a certain group, of a political party in this case, where people are rallying behind you and you see someone crying. It demonstrates weakness. And yeah, okay, maybe Gus Walz also crying. I guess that's different. He's not a politician, but yeah, you get what I'm saying. A lot of these aren't politicians, though. I've just put down Democrats crying. I try to put politician there, but that you know, this isn't a surprise. Even they would still cry if they were elected. But I'm just, it's just very like, this is your leadership. Republicans, we don't see them cry that often. That's because they have strong masculine leadership. Even the women. We don't see Nancy Mace crying. I mean, let's give this woman some credit. She was raped as a girl. That's very traumatic. And she can talk about it without getting emotional. And I don't bash anyone. I don't shame anyone. And I hope no one will, because I expect emotion to relive and bring back up that conversation about the experience of being raped. You would expect that from Nancy Mace, but she doesn't cry. So Republican women generally are more, that's because I do think Republican women generally have better values, stronger values. And obviously they were brought up with masculine leadership. They learned, and that's what you kind of have to do. As much as these Democrats want to sulk, boo-hoo, whine and cry, and talk about the white man, how bad the man is, they need the men. They honestly do need the men. And the men need the women. It's supposed to be teamwork, but Democrats, they want to go back into history to see and tell us a story about how women were oppressed, and how they were this, and this, and this, and it's time for women to control, have more power. Even though I think women honestly have a lot, they have a lot today than they ever had before. And they want to say that women have less rights now, for some reason or not. No, I generally don't think so. But anyway, that's pretty much it. We covered Democrats and their stupid efforts to raise over $20 million to gain and bring more bring men back into the Democratic Party. What they plan to do, it's something called yeah, that's the thing. Joe Rogan too. He's not a Democrat. I would say he's he used to be a Democrat, but he's more independent. But now he's going more center right. Why? Joe Rogan represents more of the masculine, male, libertarian type of dude, okay? And just not too long ago, they used to be a part of the Democratic Party, the Obama Democrats. But now you begin to notice they're shifting right because the Democratic Party is getting more feminine and they're getting more emotional. We have emotional men like Steve Sweeney in New Jersey trying to run for governor. Are you kidding? Another emotional Democrat? Are you kidding me? All the men used to be strong like Joe Rogan. Now and they're all leaving because Democrats have injected emotional men. And you have, of course, they're trying to get this Joe Rogan sort of guy. But then again, Joe Rogan's base isn't really political. They really aren't political. They represent more of a libertarian. Maybe it's gotten more Trumpian after Rogan endorsed Trump. But it's highly involved more of nonpartisan, not even political. Your average dude, your male, libertarian type of vibe. It's gotten more conservative. And with reason to be. But you get the gist of it. More masculine men. They're going Republican because they don't think that the Democrats represent them because it's just too feminine. And the men, they aren't relatable. They really aren't relatable. It's hard to relate. Meanwhile, you have people, and Joe Rogan's not a Republican. They keep saying he's a Republican. He's not. But you have Republicans out there in office that are relatable. Like and on his name, Charlie Kirk. He's relatable. He's attracting a mass following of young men. And eventually these young men, they're going to have to find a party. They're going to have to choose. It's either emotional Democrats that they cannot relate to, Republicans, they might have some disagreements with them, but they're mostly likable. Or third party, which you have zero chance of winning. I think Republicans are going to be the likely option for them because then again, they are more masculine. They more fit in their interests. Sure, Democrats will say, "Oh, student debt, student loan, yada 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 yada." But then we're talking about common sense males, okay? Common sense men, young men that will say, "Hey, look, how can I avoid getting into student debt?" Student debt doesn't just happen, right? Student debt happens when you are just plain stupid with your money, okay? Stupid, you think you don't understand how the world works, and you think everything is free, okay? And then you end up in student debt. You think you can spend your money on everything. Though, and we're hoping the people that don't do that, they are the people that don't do that, they're actually being led by the strong masculine leadership. Men who are being led by strong fathers, strong parents, they're less likely, and also women too. Don't make you say like it's going to be the women. Women also. Men and girls and boys going off to college. I know they just graduated just recently. Going off to college, they're less likely to go and get into debt when they are taking part in strong leadership from a masculine father. And I didn't write the rules. Not my fault that the men were just basically programmed and made and basically traded to be a leader. Well, you gotta have to talk about it to the Lord. Ask God. If you're mad about it, ask God. Why did you make men the leader? I don't know. Why did I make women the nurturer? Because there are some traits that men want from women, and there are a lot of traits that women want from men. But it's just really all it is. But yeah, Democrats are desperate. They are losing their voters. You just have very weird Democrats like Harry Sisson, a 22-year-old Democrat politician, Irish American influencer, born in Singapore, should have stayed in Singapore. He's Irish. He can vote in Ireland. He can stay. He should fly like a bird into Ireland. I'm sure they would love him there. But yeah, you also got Dean Withers, who I have not heard about actually, because maybe he's even worse. Yeah, I think he's definitely worse. Yes, I knew him. Yes, I know him. I heard him because he was the guy that went and challenged a bunch of Democrat women in a controversial video. But yes, this guy's also a Democratic buffoon that will go around and do silly. Okay, yeah. Thoughts on Dean Withers asks feminists. Okay, this guy, yeah, he's honestly getting himself into this very weird like group, like seriously. And obviously I like how Wikipedia is trying to make him look good. Withers debated far-right political commentator Nick Fuentes. I never heard of Nick Fuentes. Oh, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories against Jews. Of course, they feel relevant to actually bring that up. But there's a lot of stupid things that I think Dean Withers honestly did a lot of dumb stuff. But honestly, this is all they got. This is the Democrats and their masculine leadership. You got this guy, Dean Withers, who is an emotional sip. You got Harry Sisson. This guy here, emotional sim. And you have David Hogg, Chairman David Hogg. That's a this guy, he looks very strong. Yeah. Very, like, poor leadership all in general. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? I know it went a little longer than I expected. But I mean, Democrats, we know their leadership's not good when they're spending a budget of money just to get more young men. It's just absolutely hilarious. But what do you guys think in regards to this video? Anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next political episode.